Good afternoon on a very sunny evening here at Ashton's Cars. Today I'm showing you around our 64 plate, that's 2014, Suzuki Swift. And this is a 1.2 litre SZ3 model, and it's a 5-door. One thing that I've learned about Suzuki Swifts over the years, I really like them as a car, but you need to be looking at perhaps an SZ3 or above to get what I would consider a good level of spec. So this one's an SZ3, it's got a few extras on it as well. And also it's the 5-door, which I do find are the better seller. So I'll take you around it and show you a little bit about what makes these one of my favourite super minis. Now the first thing is they are Japanese, and Suzuki I have always found to be extremely reliable, extremely well put together, and just very easy cars really to live with. And certainly as a car dealer myself, you know, we have very few issues with Suzuki's in terms of after sales and problems. So most Suzuki customers that come my way are very happy customers. So that's good for business. So I like these cars for that reason alone, but there's other reasons to love this car as well. First of all, it's quite a good looking thing. I'll just let the scooter gang go past. I think it's a really smart looking thing, and this being the SZ3, it's got a few extras like the rear spoiler that have been put on it. Previous owners put some wind deflectors on it as well. Just all looks a very sort of well cared for example, and I have got a full service history for this car, which I'll show you in a second. It's a good looking thing, isn't it? Now, they're not the biggest of cars. They're probably a little bit smaller, if I'm being honest, than something like a Fiesta. But they are a really good low cost option to a Mini, and because they're Japanese, they've got the reliability in them that Minis could only dream of, to be honest with you. With this 1.2 engine as well, it's a variable valve timing unit. It's quite nippy, and I'll show you in a second the inside, because the SZ3 model we got here has actually got a really good spec, including things like Bluetooth telephone on it. Now this is a facelifted model of the Swift. You can tell earlier ones because they don't have the LED lights, which this one's got here below the bumper line. It's quite sexy looking, that, I think, especially when it's all lit up. It looks the part. As you can see, she's in very good condition. She's done 70,000 miles from new. Alloy wheels on this model as well, although they are scuffed, especially this particular one, because this is the one that catches all the marks next to the curb on the front. The others are all pretty good. I'll just go down this side and then we'll show you the boot. These wheels are actually quite mint this side. It's only that one that's letting the side down, but it's always the front passenger wheel that catches all the curb sides, unfortunately. Now let's have a look at the boot. So it's quite deep. I'm used to seeing flat floors these days, but the Swift goes down quite a long way. That's not a bad thing, unless you know, have got pets or something. They might struggle to jump out of this boot if you've got a small dog, but it does mean that it's got a bit more room than, say, a Mini, but a little less room than, say, a Fiesta. Sits somewhere in between, really, size-wise. But it has got 70-30 split folding seats, so you can increase space if you need to. And you'd get a week's shopping in there anyway, and a few soft bags for a weekend away, so it is fairly practical, really. I think most people who have these are not going to be using them as a main family car. They're normally a second car, or they're just something that someone's got who perhaps hasn't got a family as their main vehicle. Looking into the back, it is a proper 5-seater. Another thing to note on Suzuki Swifts, and I believe this is correct, the 3-door models are 4-seaters and the 5-door models are 5-seaters, and that's another reason why the 5-door Swifts are a much better seller for me. You have cup holders in the doors, windy windows in the back, free inertia seat belts, reasonable amount of space, but the same as I say, a Fiesta. It's all good. Moving on to the front, well, it gets even better, because Suzuki is part owned by Toyota, and Toyota makes some of the best quality cars out there, although they do beep at you when you leave your keys in the ignition. So what I'm going to do let's jump in and shut the door for a bit of peace and quiet. So, it's a really nice dash layout in here. We've got a stereo system there, which has actually got the Bluetooth connectivity for my phone. So I've got buttons on the steering wheel to answer calls for my phone. I've got the volume controls by here for it as well, which are all, you know, at my fingertips when I'm driving. I've got air conditioning in this model as well, and some of the earlier Swifts haven't got air conditioning. I think the SZ1s, even in 2012, did not have aircon. And of course, that's something that we tend to expect these days. So it is something to be mindful of if you're buying a lower spec. That's why I personally always try and buy SZ3 or newer when I'm stocking cars, stocking Swifts. And obviously on that front, the 5-door with the SZ3 trim like this is the one to have. I have got electric windows up front. I've also got a little rev counter there and a trip computer in the middle display. Can you see the screen there? Telling me I've got 30 miles of fuel left. No, I'll just do the startup sequence for you. It's a conventional key in this car. Starts up. Very quiet engine. I'll give it a rev. I've been using this car myself the last couple of days, and it's been an absolute joy. I've done about 200 miles on it. It's also returning me nearly 50 to the gallon, which I'm quite happy about. And it only costs £35 a year to tax. So it's quite a painless car to own this. Visibility is very good in this Swift, and it's also aided by having huge door mirrors. They're really quite big. So that's going to be great for people, especially new drivers. And they are heated as well, which is unusual. They've got the actual heating element inside and a little heating symbol on them, look there. So when I put the rear heated window on, it also heats my door mirrors, which is quite good. You don't see that on that many small cars. There's an extra little cubby on top of the dashboard here for your oddments and bits, and reasonable sized glove box. It has just the one cup holder up front, but it's also got one back here as well. So you have got 2 cup holders in it. I find these very, very nice and pleasant to drive. I think they're quite a funky looking car. But they're very easy to live with. All the controls are so simple and easy in here, and that's what I want really in a Super Mini. So, you know, there's no real sort of standout feature that I can say, yes, this is the reason to buy a Swift, other than they're very reliable, they're very good to drive, and they've got everything you need and none of the stuff that you don't. So I think that's part of the attraction for myself. And they've got a gem of an engine in them. Proper revvy little 16-valve engine in here. Really good. It almost feels old school, this car does, compared to some of the Super Minis these days, but in a really good way. Because it's actually quite fun to drive and nip about in. So, yeah, I like the Swift. This particular one has just come into me, and I've got a pack here. I don't want to show you logbooks and stuff because of GDPR, but I can show you the service book. So let me thumb my way through this for you quickly. So this is a late 2014, and it was serviced in January 2016 when it was just over a year old at 5,382 miles. Then 2017 at 11,328. Later in 2017 at 14,000, 2018 at 22,000 miles. And then over the page, stack more stamps on it there. Again, Suzuki dealership here. This is Pontier services, which are, they've got 3 garages in sort of South Wales and Herefordshire. 31,000 miles back in 2020. 37,000 miles in 21, 45,000 miles in 22, and 55,000 miles in 23. Then the most recent service in 2024, so just last year, was done at 65, and it's saying a full service there as well. So that's pretty, that's going to have been one of the larger services. It's on 71 now. So all servicing is up to date on it. Less than 12 months ago it was serviced, and it just goes to show when you drive it, actually. It's just one of those cars that, you know, it's just right. Feels new still, despite the fact that it's over 10 years old now. So a great little Super Mini for someone, and perhaps an ideal first car for someone as well, if you're looking for a first car for a son or daughter, or for yourself maybe. So get in touch with us if you're interested in it. I'll leave it running. I want to show you those LED front day running lights because they're quite cool. I've got 2 keys for it as well, all the manuals, and yeah, look at those. I like those LED lights. Looks pretty funky, doesn't it? So if you're interested in it, this car will be available for nationwide delivery, and we take your old car as part exchange if you've got one. So let us know what you got, and we will work a deal out to suit you. My number's 07932873646. It will appear along with the full description of this car and a summary of that service history in the description of this video. So have a look on there, and you will hopefully see more details. But 07932873646 is my number if you want to get in touch. And please, of course, give us a like, share, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notifications to be kept abreast with what we've got coming in, our other car buying adventures that we go on, and just general sort of car chat. Speaking of which, if you've got a story about Suzuki Swifts or an opinion on whether they're any good or not, why not comment below and let us know your thoughts. Be interesting to hear from you, and good or bad, we like to hear people's opinions on our videos and our cars as well. So comment below, let us know your thoughts on it, and in the meantime, let me just say thank you very much for watching this video, and have yourselves a great day wherever you are. Goodbye for now.